For 23 years, he parked cars. The hotel valet. 58 years old, red vest, white gloves, permanent smile. "Good evening, sir." "Right away, ma'am." Invisible. People tossed him keys like spare change, never looked at his face, never said thank you. Just the valet guy. But when a black Ferrari screamed past the hotel, when a 3-month-old baby was in the back seat, when the kidnappers were getting away, Thomas Grant didn't call the police. He grabbed the keys to a McLaren 720S and chased them through Manhattan at 140 miles per hour. Because the man they ignored, he wasn't just a valet. He was Formula One, 1985-1989. 23 race wins, 2 world championships, until one crash ended everything. The valet, who was a legend. This is his story. Part 1. The Invisible Man. October 2024. The Plaza Hotel, New York City. Every evening, at 5 p.m., Thomas Grant started his shift. 58 years old. British, graying hair, slicked back, lines around his eyes from years of squinting in the sun. Red valet vest, white gloves, and a smile that never quite reached his eyes. The Plaza Hotel, 5th Avenue in Central Park South. $1,000 a night, minimum. Celebrities, CEOs, old money. And Thomas, he parked their cars. "Good evening, sir. I'll take excellent care of it." "Welcome back, madam. Your vehicle will be ready in 3 minutes." Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Bentleys, Rolls Royces. Cars worth more than most people's houses. Thomas drove them all. 30 feet, from the entrance to the underground garage and back. The other valets were younger, early 20s. They'd joke, "Must be nice, Tom, driving $1 million cars. You ever open them up, just once? Bet you're tempted." Thomas would smile, shake his head. "Just doing my job, mate." But his hands on the steering wheel. They remembered everything. The past. Thomas Grant, 22 years old, Formula One driver, Team Lotus, car number 11, Monaco Grand Prix, the most prestigious race in the world. 78 laps, 2.074 miles per lap, through the streets of Monte Carlo, hairpin turns, tunnel, harbor, no room for error. Thomas started in pole position, fastest qualifier, and he dominated, lap after lap, threading the needle between barriers, inches from the walls, at 180 miles per hour. When he crossed the finish line, first place, champagne, trophy, podium. He was 22 and already a star. Over the next 4 years, 1985, 5 wins, 1986, world champion, 7 wins, 1987, 6 wins, 1988, world champion, 8 wins, 1989, 3 wins, and then Japanese Grand Prix, October 1989, Suzuka Circuit, lap 43 of 53. Thomas in second place, chasing his teammate, Ayrton Senna, both fighting for the championship. Turn 15, 130R, a sweeping left curve, taken at 190 miles per hour, but Thomas's right rear tire, a tiny cut from debris on the track. Lap 43, turn 15, the tire exploded. Thomas's car spun sideways at 190 miles per hour, slammed into the barrier. The car disintegrated. Impact force 92 G. Thomas survived, barely. Broken collarbone, shattered left femur, crushed vertebrae, traumatic brain injury, 6 months in the hospital, 2 years in physical therapy. And when he could finally walk again, the FIA revoked his super license. Medical reasons, too dangerous, brain injury complications. At 26 years old, Thomas Grant's racing career was over. The fall. Thomas tried everything. Racing instructor, insurance won't cover you. Brain injury history. Team consultant, we need someone sharper. Sorry. Commentator, your speech, it's slow. Viewers won't like it. The brain injury had left him with aphasia. Temporary. But for 2 years, he struggled to find words. His wife left. "I married a champion. Not this." His sponsors vanished. His money gone on medical bills. And Thomas fell. From penthouses to studio apartments. From champagne to instant coffee. From champion to invisible. 2001. The Plaza Hotel. Thomas saw the job posting. Valet attendant. Experience with luxury vehicles preferred. He applied, using his real name, Thomas Grant, The manager looked at his resume. Says here you were a race car driver? Yes, sir. Formula One, 1985 to 1989. The manager laughed. Right, and I'm Dale Earnhardt. Look, we need somebody who can drive expensive cars without scratching them. You done valet work before? No, but I can. Fine, minimum wage plus tips. You start Monday. That was 23 years ago. Part 2, The Normal Day. October 15th, 2024, 6:47 p.m. Thomas handed keys to a guest, middle-aged man, expensive suit, barely looked at Thomas, blue Porsche 911. Thomas nodded. Right away, sir. He walked to the garage, found the Porsche, sat in the driver's seat for just a moment, his hands on the wheel, his foot near the pedal. He could feel it, the weight, the balance, the potential. This car wanted to go, but Thomas started the engine, drove slowly, carefully, 30 feet, parked in front of the hotel, handed the keys to the man who didn't tip. Thanks, the man muttered, and drove away. Thomas returned to his position by the entrance, waiting for the next car. 7:15 p.m. A woman pulled up, black Mercedes G-Wagon. She stepped out, handed Thomas the keys. Don't scratch it. Of course not, ma'am. But as Thomas walked to the car, he noticed the back seat, a baby carrier, empty, but a blanket, a bottle, and on the passenger seat, a diaper bag with a name embroidered on it, Imzimio. Thomas looked back. The woman was walking into the hotel, designer handbag, high heels, phone to her ear. No baby. Thomas felt something wrong. He opened the diaper bag. Inside, no diapers, no wipes, just cash, stacks of $100 bills, and a burner phone. Thomas's training kicked in. Years of reading situations, split-second decisions. This woman wasn't a mother. He closed the bag, got into the G-Wagon, started to drive to the garage. But then, a black Ferrari screamed up to the hotel entrance, tires screeching. A man jumped out, young, panicked, screaming, "My baby! Somebody took my baby!" Security rushed over. "Sir, calm down. My daughter, Emma, she was in her stroller, right there." He pointed to the sidewalk. I turned around for 1 second, and Thomas looked at the G-Wagon, at the diaper bag, at the woman walking into the hotel, and he knew. Part 3, The Chase. Thomas ran to the hotel entrance. The woman was gone, out the side exit. He ran back to the front. The G-Wagon was pulling away, fast. The father saw it. "That's her! That's the woman!" Security shouted, "Stop! Stop the car!" But the G-Wagon was gone, speeding down Fifth Avenue. Thomas looked at the father, at his black Ferrari 488 GTB, keys still in Thomas's hand. The father still screaming, "Call the police! Someone call!" Thomas made a decision. He got into the Ferrari. Security yelled, "Hey, what are you?" Thomas floored it. The Ferrari launched 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, down Fifth Avenue. The father screaming behind him, "That's my car!" But Thomas was gone. The pursuit, 7:18 p.m. Thomas saw the G-Wagon, 4 blocks ahead, weaving through traffic. The Ferrari responded like an extension of his body, muscle memory, taking over, his hands on the wheel, not trembling, not hesitant, steady. He downshifted. The engine roared, RPM, redlining. He shot through traffic, between cars, inches of clearance, pedestrians screaming, cars swerving. Thomas focused only on the G-Wagon. Red light ahead. The G-Wagon ran it. Thomas didn't hesitate. He followed through the intersection, horns blaring. 7:20 p.m. Central Park Traverse. The G-Wagon turned into Central Park, the 65th Street Transverse. Thomas followed. The road narrowed, trees on both sides. The G-Wagon accelerating, 70 mph, 80, 90. Thomas stayed close. The Ferrari purring, begging to go faster. His mind calculating. Road width, 24 feet. G-Wagon width, 6.5 feet. Ferrari width, 6.2 feet. Clearance for a pass, 11.3 feet. Tight, but possible. Thomas downshifted. Third gear, engine screaming. He pulled alongside, left side, inches from the G-Wagon, inches from the trees. The woman looked at him, terrified. Thomas looked straight ahead, calm, focused. He accelerated, pulled ahead, then cut in front, hard. The G-Wagon had to brake or hit him. Both cars screeching to a stop. Part 4, The Confrontation.
Thomas jumped out. The woman tried to run, but Thomas was faster. He grabbed her arm. The baby, where is she? The woman struggled. Let go of me. The baby. The woman pointed to the back seat. She's fine. She's Thomas. Opened the door. There, in a car seat, 3-month-old Emma, crying, but alive. Thomas unbuckled her, lifted her carefully. Police sirens in the distance. The woman tried to run, but Thomas stood in front of her, holding the baby. You're not going anywhere. 7:25 p.m. NYPD arrived. 6 cars, lights flashing. Officers jumped out, guns drawn. Hands up, hands up. Thomas raised one hand, the other holding Emma. I'm the valet from the plaza. She kidnapped this baby. An officer approached, took Emma, checked her over. She's okay, she's okay, she's okay. Another officer cuffed the woman. You're under arrest for kidnapping, child endangerment. The woman screamed. He stole a car. Arrest him. The officer looked at Thomas. Sir, did you steal that Ferrari? Thomas nodded. Yes, to save the baby. The officer paused, then smiled. We'll sort that out, but right now, you're a hero. Valet saves kidnapped baby in high-speed chase through Manhattan. The baby's father, crying, holding Emma. Thank you, you saved her life. Thomas nodded, just doing what anyone would do. A reporter shoved a microphone in his face. Sir, that was incredible driving. Where did you learn to drive like that? Thomas hesitated. The hotel manager, standing nearby, staring at Thomas. Wait, I know you. I know your face. He pulled out his phone. Googled Thomas Grant F1. His eyes widened. Oh my God, you're Thomas Grant. The Thomas Grant, 2-time world champion. The reporters exploded. What? The Formula One driver? He's been working as a valet? Cameras flashing. Questions shouting. Mr. Grant, why have you been parking cars? Did you know you still had it? Will you race again? Thomas stood there, overwhelmed. Then he spoke quietly. I had an accident.
They said I'd never race again, never drive at this level. I believed them. He looked at the Ferrari, still running. But tonight, I didn't think. I just drove, and it all came back, like I never stopped. Part 6, the comeback. The video went viral. 100 million views in 48 hours. Former F1 champion working as valet chases down kidnappers. The racing world exploded. Lewis Hamilton tweeted, Thomas Grant is a legend. What he did today proves he still got it. Respect. Ferrari released a statement. Thomas Grant embodies the spirit of racing. We'd be honored to have him test our cars anytime. And then, the call from Goodwood Festival of Speed. Mr. Grant, we'd like to invite you to drive a demonstration, your old Lotus 97T, the car you won your first championship in. Thomas hesitated. I'm 58. I haven't raced in we know. The world wants to see you drive. One more time. Epilogue. Goodwood Festival, England. July 2025. 75,000 people in attendance. Thomas Grant walked to the Lotus 97T, the exact car he drove in 1986. Restored, perfect. He climbed in. The seat molded to his body, like coming home. The engine roared to life, and Thomas drove up the Goodwood Hill climb. 1.116 miles, corners, elevation changes at 160 miles per hour. The crowd on their feet, screaming when he crossed the finish line. Standing ovation. Thomas climbed out, tears in his eyes. Ayrton Senna's son was there. He walked up to Thomas, shook his hand. My father always said you were the best driver he ever raced against. Thomas nodded. He made me better. 1 year later, Thomas Grant no longer works at the plaza. Instead, he runs a driving school for people who've been told they can't, people with disabilities, people who've had accidents, people who've been counted out. If I can come back after 35 years, Thomas tells them, you can do anything, because Thomas Grant learned the truth. Your past doesn't define you. Your age doesn't define you. What others say you can't do doesn't define you. The only thing that defines you, what you do when it matters. The valet who was a champion, the invisible man who saved a life, the driver who never forgot. This is the story of Thomas Grant, the man who proved that legends never fade, they just wait for their moment. Post-credits. Emma's father bought Thomas a car, a Ferrari 488 Pista, license plate, Valet 1. Thomas keeps it parked at the plaza, where it all began.
And sometimes, late at night, he sits in the driver's seat, hands on the wheel, and remembers, not the crashes, not the pain, not the lost years, but the speed, the thrill, the life, because once a racer, always a racer.